PK Sparks, did you enter the raffle? What's up, man? Welcome to the stream. I didn't see you join it. Oh, maybe you joined it and left while I was playing? Because I was probably playing and didn't get to see. Alright, so a lot of people seem to want to hear the girl story. So I can tell it. Alright, so rewind back to maybe 3 years ago. Fees at $5. Okay, gotcha. So, Mr. Bedoya, type in ! raffle if you'd like to join the list. The raffle.
Notice
rather.
me, senpai. Notice me.
Rodney Rex or Senpai has noticed you. Thank you for the follow, my friend. Have you ever had a weird girl like you and you just don't really notice? That's never happened to me, Lester, Nick. I'm usually pretty good at noticing people. Notice me, senpai. Yeah, I don't know. I usually notice
Notice
everybody.
me, senpai. Notice me.
See? Aztec Lover. Senpai has noticed you. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for the follow. So, rewind to 3 years ago. I was working at an art store. I was on Tinder, like, more often than I should have been because what happened? Because work was really slow.
Notice me, senpai. Notice me.
Skeller, thank you for the follow. Senpai has noticed you. So, yeah, so I was on Tinder, I was looking for love, and all that good stuff. And then, started talking to this girl, and it was pretty great. And, you know, we didn't have, you know what's funny, I didn't have any common interests with a lot of the people on there.
Notice me, senpai. Notice me.
Neru-san Hoang. Thank you for the follow. Senpai has noticed you. So then, oh, and we're waiting for who? Who's trying to join up? Join up, friend. We don't have all day. So then, so I'm talking to this girl on Tinder, and you know it's going well. You know,
Notice me, senpai. Notice
Kickflip
me.
Master, thank you for the follow. Senpai has noticed you. Can you do some kickflips for me? Master Ball Bro, I thought you said we were already added. Okay, gotta go back and do it. Alright, so, talking on Tinder, everything's going great. And, oh, okay, I remember the full story now. So, we're gonna have our first meetup / date. Do I do character requests? I do, but
senpai.
when I'm playing
Notice
for
me.
money, I only will choose a character if we get a donation. Golden Dollar, thank you for the follow. Senpai has noticed you. No, it wasn't Tiny. So, wait, where's the, is it, yeah, here it is. So, I go to meet this person for the first time. No, you don't lose anything, Sabin Fane. You can only gain by being here. So, you know, everything's going great. We're gonna have our first date, right? And I'm excited. I'm like, awesome. So she says she had a car. She said she was gonna come over and pick me up so we could go to, you know, I don't know where
Notice
we're
me,
going.
senpai.
Somewhere nice.
Notice me.
Med470, Senpai has noticed you. Thank you for the follow. And she has her own car. So she tells me, like maybe 2 hours before we're gonna meet, she's like, oh, sorry, my roommate needs the car. Is there any chance you could come over to me? And I'm like, yeah, I could probably do that. Yeah, that's fine. TBD, you should, if you just type in ! raffle, you should be in. Regardless, you only have to type it in once. You don't have to retype.
Notice me, senpai. Notice me.
Mr. Bedoya, thank you for the follow. Senpai has noticed you. So, basically, yeah, so I'm like, okay, well now I gotta borrow like one of my parents' cars, and this is short notice because I thought she was gonna pick me up, you know what I mean? So her car, like, yeah, her roommate borrowed it. So I asked my mom, like, Mom, can I borrow your car? I got a date. And she's like, no, I gotta go to work, sorry, like, you can't take the car. I'm like, oh crap. So I go to Dad, hey Dad, can I borrow the car? And he's like, I need it for errands, but if you can wait like 3 hours, then yes, you can borrow it. I'm like, okay, cool. So Dad goes and does errands. I tell her that I'll be an hour late, but I'll go pick her up. She's like, okay, cool, that's fine. So we're both ready for our dates. It was fantastic. It was great. And then I get in my dad's car. He finished with his errands. I get in my dad's car, and what happens? So, oh, this is Rosa. I gotta think, but I can still talk and tell story. Oh, goodbye, Luma. So I get in my dad's car, and I start the engine, and I have the GPS on my phone. I'm like, alright, where does this girl live? I don't know. Oh, nice double down air. So, I'm like trying to figure out, and I'm a new driver. I got my license when I was 22 or 23, because in New York City, you don't really need to drive that much. So I'm still slightly inexperienced, like for the most part. At this time, I still am pretty inexperienced as a driver, but you know what I mean. So yeah, so I get oh, nice air dodge. So I get in the car and I start the engine. I hear a weird rattling noise, and I'm like, that probably should not be occurring. But you know what? That's probably fine. My dad literally just finished driving the car. You know what I mean? So odds that something is wrong with it, it's probably fine, you know, honestly. So I drive in the car, and I like turn twice, and I'm about to get on the highway, and then the car, like, I hear a loud, like, crashing noise, like a metallic crashing sound, and I'm like, what the hell is that? So I don't think anything of it. I don't know anything about cars, and I keep going. And it turned out that I couldn't turn and I couldn't stop. And the car went into I was able to turn, sorry. I just couldn't stop. And the car went into like a wall. Like not a wall, but like the sidewalk. And I made sure not to like hit any cars that were parked there. I found like an empty spot, but the car was just like there, sitting there, and it wasn't moving. It wasn't accelerating, and I couldn't like do anything else with it. So, yeah, it was really weird. And then, oh, no spike. It was just really weird. And so, yeah, so I didn't know what that sound was, and I missed the up smash. I didn't know what that sound was. Oh, the spike though. Okay, so I get out the car. No, first I'm in the car and I turn it off.
Notice me.
And Gord211, thank you for the follow, my friend. Senpai has noticed you. So yeah, the car is stopped now, and I turn it off. I make sure it's on drive. It's still on drive. I switch it in park for a moment, and I put it back on drive, and I like hit the gas pedal, and I just hear like screeching, and I was like, what the heck? So I get out of the car, and the whole bottom of the car is like, it's off of the car. Like there are these bars. I don't know what it is. The transmission. Some part of the bottom of the car was on the floor. That's what happened to the car, and I could not move. So I call my dad, and I'm like, Dad, can you like come here? And like he's like, what the hell happened? Because he knows me. So he's like, what the hell happened? What did you do? And I'm like, I didn't do anything. I was just driving, and then like the car just like broke down. And he got there, he freaked out, he yelled at me. I didn't do anything. I really didn't do anything, guys. I know how to drive a car. So then, yeah, so he's like, I gotta call a tow truck because we can't do anything with this, you know? So he called a tow truck. The police came because I was obstructing some portion of traffic. It was bad. So I told my date what had happened. I'm like, hey, so I don't think we're gonna be able to do this because the car broke down. And she didn't believe me. She's like, if you didn't want to go out with me, like you know, you don't have to lie. And I'm like, no, trust me, like I'm not lying. I really do want to go out with you. I really did want to go out with you. And she didn't believe me because yeah, like whose car breaks down? Like, you know what I mean? That doesn't happen often. So she didn't believe me, and that was troublesome for obvious reasons. So yeah. So what I did was I made sure I took a picture of it after she said that she didn't believe me and that like I was a jerk, like that I was lying. I wasn't lying. Oh no, that's unfortunate. So I took a picture of it and I showed her, and she's like, you could have gotten that picture like from anywhere. And I'm like, okay. So I told my dad, can you please take a picture? And I stood in front of it, and I made sure to put like the timestamp on so she knew I wasn't lying. And then she's like, oh, okay, like, wow, that's really bad luck. And I'm like, yeah, that is really bad luck. And guys, stuff like this happened to me all the time. Like whenever I was gonna go on dates, stuff would just happen. Like it wasn't even my fault most of the time. It was just like weird things would happen that would prevent me from like making it on the dates, which kind of sucked. But I'll get back to that point in a moment. Wow, that almost. And so she believed me, and we decided to reschedule for another day, which was fine. Oh, good backer. We decided to reschedule for another day, and cool. So I was at work, and the weekend was coming up. I was excited that we were gonna be able to hang out again, like hang out for like once. And what happened? So I'm at work. We're talking, like texting, whatever. And you know, we're talking about, 'cause she was from France, and hold on guys, I'm trying to get this KO. I don't want to screw up. There we go. So she was from France, so we're talking about cultural differences and like food, what foods we kind of like. Exactly, Frost Silver, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was gonna come back around to. So we're talking about foods and stuff, and I'm like, oh, what do you like to eat? She tells me her thing. She's like, what do you like to eat? She's like, pasta. And I told her I like pasta. And then I ask her, do you know how to cook? And she freaked out. She's like, what is that supposed to mean? Like, oh, like, do you just try and go out with girls so they can cook for you? Like, we're not in the 70s, like, in the 18th century anymore. I'm like, I cook for myself all the time. I was just curious if you knew how to cook. I did not imply that you would be cooking for me or that I would be making you cook and blah 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 blah. And she's like, she just freaked out. She and she got mad at me, and she's like, you know what, like, I've been out with guys like you and it always ends horribly, and you know, guys like you are the problem with this world. And I'm like, what? I'm literally just making conversation. And then she like freaked out, and then yeah. So like, she's like, yeah, like I don't like, and I tried to explain myself, and she's like, no, that's not the context in which you asked the question in. And I'm like, yeah, it was. I was just gonna tell you about how I like to cook, and that's why I asked if you like to cook. So she freaked out, and like, that's it, GG. Like, no, we never. She's like, I'm glad your car broke down because then I would have had to go out with you more. I was like, this is insane. I'm glad my car broke down too. I'm glad we did not date. So it was pretty bad. Did she know how to cook though? She never answered the question because she was too busy being angry. So yeah, like, Ruard, are you still in here? Yeah, so GG's, that was done. And so after, remember to say you cook first. Yeah, remember to say you cook first before asking a girl if they know how to cook, because that can be perceived as offensive. But you know what? I've never asked a girl if they know how to cook after that again, ever. Alright, Ruardi, please add Jtales 3. I never asked a girl that question again, ever. Because, rest in peace. So. Oh, really, Issa? Okay. I'm sorry, I don't know I know it was rude to ask a French girl if they know how to cook. Jeez. She never answered, she was too, yeah, no, she was too triggered. She like blocked me, did not answer my questions. Tips for you, Master Ball Bro, don't roll. Be careful with your rolling. Seriously, be careful with your rolling, because that's how I was catching you a lot, basically. So yeah. Other than that, I think you did fine. Just watch your rolling. Yeah, ask your French friends, guys, because I don't know about this. I was just trying to make conversation, trying to. I mean, I ask my male friends, do you cook? Do you know how to cook? We talk about recipes with my male friends, you know what I mean? So I never thought it would be like, perceived as an offensive thing, you know what I mean? So yeah. Bader Dater, how you doing? So yeah, fun times, you guys. Now I have a lot more stories rooted in the core of my soul. I just have to remember them. A lot of which I'd rather forget, Dynamic